Hey, what is going on guys, Ben here. So today I am super excited to be checking out the Ronin SC and comparing it to its older, bigger brother, the Ronin S. So without further ado, let's jump right on into the unboxing. So while this gimbal originally runs for 440 bucks, I actually picked up the Pro Combo Bundle and that runs for 540 bucks. And it comes with a few extra accessories. So in the box of both gimbals, you'll get the gimbal itself, the smaller battery, an extended tripod grip, quick release plate, phone holder, a lens support, some tools, cables to connect the gimbal to your camera, and a charging cable. But this bundle also comes with a focus motor mount, gear strips, and the RSS splitter cable. And all of it comes neatly inside this included carrying case. Now all the accessories that come with this gimbal aren't necessarily new. What is new with this gimbal is the overall design of it. See, this gimbal is much smaller than its predecessor. Almost everything about it has been halved, from the weight to the battery size to the actual gimbal size, the carrying case, and unfortunately its max carrying capacity, although I'll get into that in a little bit. Now of course DJI made much more improvements than just shrinking everything down. They made a lot of optimization improvements to this actual gimbal. They made a smaller, more refined focus motor that's about the third of the size of its predecessor, but performs just as well and is now included in the box of the Pro Combo, so you no longer have to buy this large extra accessory. They also added locks to all the axes, which is one of my favorite features. It's something I really wish the predecessor had, and it basically allows you to lock any of the axes in place, which is perfect for if you're strapping it to the outside of a backpack and carrying it around. And actually this gimbal is one of the most portable gimbals I've ever used, as it perfectly fits the outside of a bag, making it great to bring anywhere. They also added new features to the app, such as Force Pro, which allows you to actually move your iPhone and the gimbal will mimic your iPhone's movement remotely. And they also added Active Track, which allows you to select an object on the iPhone when it's mounted to the top using the included phone mount, and then the gimbal will proceed to track that object in real time, allowing you to focus less on where the gimbal's facing and more on the content that you're shooting. It's also great if you're a one-man band like myself, as the gimbal can now follow me around. Now while I've talked a lot about the good of this gimbal, that's not to say there aren't any downsides, and unfortunately this gimbal does have a few. As I mentioned before, this gimbal has a smaller max capacity than its bigger brother, meaning it can only support about 4 pounds of weight on top of it. Now you'd think, oh, if my camera setup is under 4 pounds, it'll fit perfectly, but unfortunately that's not the case. See, when I tried to mount my larger Samsung NX1 with the big 16-50 lens, you could see it didn't really clear the top eyepiece, even though this whole setup is under the max weight. And so unfortunately, I think a lot of people that are using larger mirrorless cameras or cameras with larger lenses are gonna have issues with this gimbal. But it worked perfectly fine with my smaller setup, so if you happen to use a smaller mirrorless setup, it should work no problem with you. And they also happen to include a list on their website of all the models that work with this gimbal if you're unsure. Now I do have to say, despite all of the drawbacks, it is absolutely incredible how much performance DJI has packed in such a puny package. I mean, the side-by-side footage from both of these gimbals looks almost identical, and the fact that they cut the weight in half makes this thing a joy to use all day long, meaning I can get awesome footage all day. My arms will no longer get tired. I no longer have to use it dual-handed. I can just rock all day long one-handed, and the footage looks almost exactly the same. The only time I really notice any change in the footage is when running. Doing any fast movements when running, you can see a little bit more shake, but I think that actually has to do with the fact that the gimbal's lighter and not any performance issues, as it just simply will move in the air more when I'm bouncing around because there's less inertia. But overall, I think this gimbal is definitely a massive win for DJI. I mean, at only 440 bucks for the base or 540 for the Pro model that I got, it absolutely blows away its predecessor in terms of price. I think the old Ronin S was something like 500 or 750 bucks. So this thing is far cheaper and performs just about the same unless you have a massive camera setup. And heck, it even blows away other smaller, cheaper gimbals that I used to recommend as an entry-level gimbal for somebody who has a mirrorless camera. This is clearly the new king of gimbals, and I think it is definitely a huge win for DJI. And if you're unsure about whether this gimbal will work with your camera setup, either go online and check, or you can actually go to a retailer that has a good return policy, pick one up for yourself and check it out, and if it doesn't work, just return it. Anyway, that's been my review of the new DJI Ronin SC. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and also comment down below letting me know what you thought. Also, please be sure to subscribe, as I have a lot more content coming out on this channel very, very soon, so you don't want to miss it. Anyway, that's been it. Thanks, subscribe. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.